shooting in the first half. Griffin has 2 fouls. And now another foul, and that will be 3 on him. Didn't take long, 15 seconds to pick up his 3rd personal foul.
You know, you hear the guys in the studio talk so much about post play, raising your game during the playoffs. This is really who Zach Randolph is. He's not the most athletic, meaning jumping high, can't jump out of the gym, but his positioning, the way he plays the post, he knows how to get his shots up, and just a tough guard for anyone, especially a guy like Blake Griffin who's athletic and feels I can block every shot he throws up.
Zach Randolph averaged 22 in the playoffs last year. This is his 4th postseason. Played in 2 with the Portland Trail Blazers, and now 2 with the Grizzlies. As you see, Griffin, who had 10 points on 4 for 7 shooting, and the only player in double figures for the Clippers, now with 3 personals.
When you talk about that play last year of Memphis going against San Antonio, and everybody said, where's that team, where's that team? Well, they're showing you who they are now by playing. This is the style they played last year and need to continue if they want to stay in this series.
And they beat the Spurs in 6 games, and the runner by Chris Paul. So Chris Paul now with 7 points, and he's going to have to get started. And the San Antonio Spurs are waiting in the wings for the winner of this series in the Western Conference best-of-7 semifinals. And you're right, the Grizzlies won in 6 last year. Here's Randolph, Conley, a 3, and an air ball out of bounds, and it will go over to the Clippers.
Zach Randolph actually had an open shot there, passed it back and decided to get another pick to get a better shot. But right now, you need Conley taking those shots, even penetrating. You need him to keep the same identity, aggression, push to the hole, let your other teammates feed off you.
Caron Butler. Rebound by Randolph. 6 rebounds for Zach Randolph. Grizzlies had the big lead in game number 1 and squandered it right here. Allen off the rim. Griffin on the court playing despite the 3 personal fouls. Working his way in against Gasol, and he falls down and loses it out of bounds.
And that's why you can play with 3 personal fouls, because your other big man knows you're in foul trouble, and he can do just like he did on that possession, switch so you won't be in trouble of having to exit early in this game.
Allen from Gasol. Allen again, and he's fouled. Gasol had 4 assists in the first half, second to Conley's 5. And he is a true facilitator, so it's not just the scoring they expected, and the foul is against Jordan.
And this is caused all by Zach Randolph. We didn't see that, but 2 guys, Foy and Griffin, were checking Zach Randolph, essentially leaving Allen open because they know Randolph is thirsty right now, meaning he wants to be in that paint, he wants to put it in the bucket. They double-teamed him before he touched the ball, which allowed Allen a wide-open layup.
Grizzlies shooting 54% right now, and the Clippers 39%. And good free throw shooting so far for the Grizzlies. They are 14 of 15 from the line.
Just the number of 15 free throw attempts shows their mind state. Going inside, not settling for jumpers, as they may have done in past quarters and games.
And they started the game that way.
Definitely, they definitely did. And it all starts with Gasol and Randolph. Those guys got to go into the hoop. The rest of the team follow.
And of course, the big question will be, can they do it for 4 quarters?
Exactly. And like you said earlier, who's that 3rd guy today that's going to step up as well?
Foy, and Conley staying with him, and Gasol runs into Gasol, loses the ball. So Gasol just stood there, and Foy lost it out of bounds.
Great job by the ref, letting him see he stood there. He got that foul called on him in the first half, if you remember. Right before halftime, he had to go to the side. He's just there, a little bit slower than Foy, but there no less in position. Good 9 call by the referee.
There the turnovers by the Clippers. They controlled it pretty well in the last game. Remember, they were the 2nd best at protecting the ball in the regular year. And there is Conley, and a steal by Griffin. And Conley, Griffin gets it back. And a great touch pass on the pass back from Chris Paul. good timing there. And Griffin now with 12 points on 5 for 8 shooting. And now it's a 15-point game. Gasol getting in. And no, offensive interference above the cylinder will turn it back to the Clippers.
There you see the weak side ducking. Nobody does that better than Memphis to me. Offensive goaltending. Allen just being a little bit over-aggressive.
And another turnover, and Conley will get this one to Gay. And Gay gets fouled, and it could have been a risky three-point situation.
Well, I tell you what, I know Coach Hollins is not excited about that play. He showed his frustration on the side. You have to convert a layup. 2 is better than a foul. 2 is even better than maybe an and one because you don't even know who's trailing. But I understand what Conley was doing. Conley was trying to get Gay involved because Gay is that missing link tonight. He wants him to get some type of feel, but the point guard needs to get those definite 2 and worry about getting his man involved a little bit later.
Gay has only 4 points on 2 for 6 shooting and making his first trip to the line. Gay has been the leading scorer in 3 of the 4 games for the Grizzlies so far. Tune into NBA Game Time on NBA TV for extensive highlights, insights, and analysis before and after every game. Also visit NBA.com at any hour for the latest playoff action. (17 of 18 for the Grizzlies. Gay makes both free throws. (17-point lead. Biggest margin was 18 for Memphis. We have just under 9 minutes remaining in the third. And the ball away by Paul. Griffin gets the offensive rebound, and a loose ball foul is called against the Grizzlies. But I would say overall the Clippers are playing a little out of sync offensively.
They are, Dick, and I wonder why. Is it just because Chris Paul is out of sync, or is it because Tony Allen is doing a great job trying to keep the ball on one side, not letting Chris Paul have his dribble as long and as often as he would like? I think the whole team is keyed in saying somebody else besides Chris Paul is going to have to beat us tonight.
Conley with a second foul.
Even right there, you have to love how Allen denied him.
Here is Griffin trying to get in. Loose ball, tapped in the air, and into the hands of Gay, and he's fouled. And Caron Butler with his second foul.
And this is what I'm talking about. That little play by Allen not allowing Chris Paul. If we say Chris Paul is one of the top 10 players in the league, then what you want to do is not let him touch the ball. And a play like that, by just denying and face guarding, gives your team a defensive possession with a positive outcome.
And how about Allen with 3 blocks in the game? Here's Zach Randolph short with it. Tapped out by Gasol to Conley. Conley penetrating. Gets the layup. Conley now with 7 points. And a 19-point lead, and it's the biggest lead of the game for the Grizzlies. And the way they're playing and the way the Clippers are playing does not give you an indication that a huge comeback is in store, at least to this point.
No, it doesn't, but
it was 27.
It was 27, and it snuck up on us before.
Meanwhile, Gasol picks up his 3rd foul.
That's a tough call there for Gasol. You know, it looks like Griffin went into his body, but that's the part of the playoffs. You want to put the referees in a position to make a tough call. Did I foul him, or did he foul me? So a great job by Griffin being aggressive.
He's playing with 3 personal fouls, and he misses that one. He's now 2 for 3 from the line.
But I'd still like to say, seeing Griffin in his first playoff series, watching him struggle in the first few quarters of game 1, all the way to playing so well the last few games and keeping his poise, this is what you want to see from your young superstar, learning and getting better every game in the playoffs.
You know, it's like Kevin Durant. He missed both. Kevin Durant in his first playoff series against the Lakers.
Yes.
And look how he has matured. And here is Boyd, guarded by Allen, picked up by Randolph. Griffin free, stuffs it through.
That was a wonderful pass by Jordan and a defensive lapse by Memphis. It is no way you have a guy that you let shoot every jump shot. Everybody backs off, but he gets a wide open pass to one of the best finishers in the league. Defensive breakdown by Memphis in that play.
Gasol baseline is a block by Jordan out of bounds. And it's last touched by the Grizzlies. And here come the Clippers back.
Look for Chris Paul to be very aggressive. His face and his body language says that he's going to try to make sure he's more involved.
And Jordan is fouled, and that was Conley purposely making sure Jordan was not going to get the lay-in, but will have to go through the line, where he has really struggled from the free throw stripe.
Great job right there by Conley. But right here with Chris Paul, you see now he's going to be aggressive. He wanted Blake to shoot it, but look at that high-low passing, and good job by Conley not letting him get it above his head to try to get the hand one.
Now, was it in the act of shooting? And it was not.
Oh.
So it is not a shooting foul, and the Clippers will take it out of bounds.
You mentioned the poor free throw shooting. The shooting of this Clippers team is so horrendous that I'm surprised you haven't seen hack a clip yet. And every Clipper big man, maybe late in the game, maybe it's something we see. Coach Hollins alluded to a couple surprises we might see in the fourth quarter. Maybe that is one, but you're right. The free throw shooting of this Clippers team could be their downfall if you make them own up to it and get to that line.
Well, in Game 3, they really struggled down the stretch.
Yes.
And it might have cost them the game. And then Rudy Gay, who had hit 2 threes, missed the 3.
Yes.
And the Clippers survived by a point, but it could have cost them there.
Yes, it could have.
And there's a foul as Foy, with a long-range foul, 3 shots coming up for Randy Foy.
The reason why you have to play discipline is because the Clippers don't believe in you anyway. The Clippers have already come back from 27 down. They don't believe you can hold this lead, so you must execute.
And Conley now has picked up his 4th foul. So Conley has 4. Gasol has 3, and O.J. Mayo will come in for Conley, who goes out. He has scored 7 points on 3 for 7 shooting, and came in the game as a 50% shooter for Memphis.
O.J. Mayo or Allen has to decide. One of them has to be the facilitator. You don't have Conley on the floor. Neither one of them are fast or as good at penetration. So they must keep team play involved in their minds by passing the ball, getting it back in, making sure guys repost, but not going to one-on-one play just because Conley's on the bench. That is not how you got this lead so far.
Boyd trying to make it 3 straight free throws and cut the lead to 14. So Conley is on the bench. Foy makes 3. Knocked away by Foy, and they'll call Foy with a foul on Gasol. And now the Clippers are in the penalty, and Gasol will shoot 2.
So fortunate right here. This is what I mean. You know, a point guard has to know his personnel, also has to know the other team knows you have 2 big guys up, and it's the 2 guards' responsibility to try to steal that ball from Gasol. Very fortunate that Memphis is in the penalty this early in the game. That is really a luxury.
And, of course, you want to make a gamble, and you want to try to take the ball away, but you know you're starting to creep in there, and Conley's on the bench. A very untimely foul, I would think, there, giving Memphis a chance to get too easy.
Very untimely foul. And if you ask Foy, if he would have got there a second early, it would have been a layup and an easy 2 for the Clippers.